coming. We will look up and see a big white shining cloud with a beautiful rainbow over it. And there's the cloud. Leave the trumpet on there with Jesus.
Why does Jesus be born out?
We're going to find out about the trumpet in a little bit.
Jesus.
Who will be riding in the middle of the cloud?
Jesus.
Yes, King Jesus will be with all of his holy angels with bright glittering crowns on their heads. They will be singing praises to Jesus. Let's fill our clouds with shining angels while we sing Jesus is coming again.
Lift
Up the trumpet and loud let it ring. Jesus is coming again. Cheer up, you pilgrims, be joyful and sing. Jesus is coming again. Coming again. Coming again. Jesus is coming again. Here you go. Last one.
I had trouble with that part.
Okay. Now, some people who love Jesus have died. Will they get to see Jesus coming too?
Yes.
Yes. As Jesus comes riding on the cloud, he will blow on his silver trumpet and shout with a loud voice, "Wake up! Wake up!" And the people who have died will wake up and be alive again. The angels will take little children who have died and gently put them in their mother's arms.
Like Tutu, our little baby that died in Mama's tummy.
Yep.
I hope it's a girl.
So if your mommy dies and she gets a nice tombstone.
Let me see. Oh, let me see.
You want to put that one up? Or your daddy dies and he gets a nice tombstone. Go ahead and put that. When Jesus comes and he gives the shout, your mommy's tomb will open and she'll come out of it. Wait, Bethany. And go put those up. And your daddy's tomb will open and he'll come up out of his tomb. And you'll get to see them again. They will go up into the air where Jesus is on the beautiful cloud. Everyone will be so happy. Do you want to be ready to go up on the cloud when Jesus comes? I do too. Do you know how we will go to Jesus' home in heaven? We will ride with him on the big beautiful cloud, past the moon. Sit down for a little bit. Past the sun, past the stars, all the way to heaven. Do you think that we will be wearing old clothes like this going to heaven?
No way!
No, we won't.
You knocked off the gravestones.
Well, it's okay. Oh no, Jesus will give you a beautiful white robe. So the mommy that died, she'll get a beautiful white robe.
And we'll get a white robe too, even though we didn't die.
And the daddy will get a white robe. So go put those on.
I'm going to put them in the cloud.
And it won't have any ugly spots or stains on it. The white robe shows that you have chosen to always be kind and loving like Jesus. And so now we are going to put on some white robes here.
I'm going to put on your robe.
Okay.
They aren't real robes.
There's that robe. These aren't as big, no.
I'm going to put this robe on Mama.
Okay.
This is like you're getting baptized.
Sort of.
Oh, where's the fastener on that side?
Probably like right there.
Oh, yeah. That's tight, right?
Yep. Okay. Now,
this is warm.
Let's sing, I will wear a robe in my Father's house. I will wear a robe in my Father's house. There'll be joy, joy, joy. I will wear a robe in my Father's house, in my Father's house, in my Father's house. I will wear a robe in my Father's house. There'll be joy, joy, joy. Okay. Before we go into the beautiful city where Jesus lives, He will place a shiny crown with sparkling stars on your head, just like this one that He'll put on your mommy and your daddy. The crowns show that you are part of Jesus' family, and the sparkling stars show that by being kind and loving, you helped your little friends learn to love Jesus too. In your mommy's crown, there will be a very special star because she helped you learn about Jesus and choose to love Him. Okay, I know. Okay.
This one is just lovely. Now I want to put Mama's crown on.
There's a crown for Bethany. And there's a crown.
I want to put Mama's crown on. Mama gets a bronze crown. Where's the extra star for you?
Hold on. It's all on there. I got one for each of you.
Oh, do I have one on mine?
Yeah, you've got some on yours too. Okay. Now, sit down. Let's sing I Will Wear a Crown in My Father's House. I will wear a crown in my Father's house, in my Father's house, in my Father's house. I will wear a crown in my Father's house. There'll be joy, joy, joy. Okay. And now, in heaven, there'll be streets of gold. And there's also going to be something else special. There's going to be the tree of life. Come and see something. When we get to heaven, Jesus will say, come and see something very special. Then we will walk with Jesus to a beautiful tree called the tree of life. It isn't like any tree you've ever seen. The tree will have two big trunks, one on each side of a beautiful river. It won't be just an apple tree or just an orange tree. There will be many different kinds of fruits on it. The fruit looks like shiny silver and gold and tastes so yummy. Jesus will say, eat the fruit and you will never ever be sick again. It will help you grow and be strong and happy. And we will say, thank you, Jesus. Thank you for loving us so much. Bethany, stop playing with you. Shh, listen. Do you hear that? What is that? Water? Yes, it's flowing right under the beautiful tree of life with a big, sprawling river called the River of Life. The water in the river will be pure and sweet. Jesus will say, come and drink water. This water will help you to never ever be sick again. It will help you grow and be strong and happy. And we will say, thank you, Jesus. Thank you for loving us so much. I'll get you a drink of water too. This isn't from the River of Life, but this is still...
Because the River of Life is in heaven.
Yeah, but this is still good water. Water is healing. It helps you get well from many, many things. Okay. In heaven, Jesus will... Please.
Excuse me.
In heaven, Jesus will have so many happy surprises for us. What surprise do you think Jesus will have many surprises for us in heaven? Now, what kind of animal do you think would live in a jungle?
A tiger.
And she's right. This is a Siberian tiger. In heaven, he'll be tame. He'll be friendly. We won't have to be afraid of tigers. What kind of animal would live in a shell?
A snail.
A garden snail, yes. They won't be gross and disgusting in heaven.
No.
What kind of animal do you think would live on a beach?
A crab.
Yes, this is a fiddler crab. In heaven, they won't pinch us.
And there's got one big claw and one little claw.
Yeah, they won't have to worry about losing their claws in heaven. Or their pinchers is actually.
Or like the big claws we found.
Yep.
Those huge claws.
Now, there's usually, at the ocean, there's usually an area of water that's close to the shore that we usually call a tidal pool. And what kinds of animal do you think we'd find in a tidal pool?
A spoiled
Sponge.
sponge.
It's a special animal. It's not soft like the sponge your mommy uses in the kitchen necessarily. Typically, they have at least a hard shell on the outside. Now, what do you think would live in a very cold, snowy place?
A polar bear.
Yes, a polar bear lives in Alaska and the Arctic area.
It's cold there.
Yes. What do you think would live on the ground in the leaves?
A tortoise.
A tarantula.
Ah!
We won't have to be afraid of them in heaven. They'll be just fine and tame and sweet. What do you think would live in the ground, in the dirt under the leaves? An earthworm.
I like worms.
Earthworms are good for us. They aerate the soil and they'll do wonderful things in heaven too, I'm sure. And what do you think would live in an ocean?
A shark.
Yes, this is a great white shark. On Earth, we're afraid of them, and the only place we can see them is at a zoo or in an aquarium. Yes, but in heaven, we can just go swimming with the sharks.
A grizzly
what would live
bear.
in a forest?
A grizzly bear.
Yes, look at those big teeth. He's saying, "Grrr, go away, I don't like you." In heaven, we won't have to be afraid of him and his sharp teeth. Now, what do you think would live in a cold, dark cave?
A bat.
A vampire bat. In heaven, they won't suck the blood on animals anymore.
Creepy.
Yes. And what do you think would be found in a green place?
A snake. Oh.
A chameleon.
Oh.
And they change color to their surroundings. So if they're on a brown tree, they turn brown. If they're on green leaves, they turn green. And what do you think we'd find?
An alligator or crocodile.
In a river in Florida.
Alligator.
American alligator, yes.
Scared.
In heaven, we won't have to be afraid of them.
There you go.
Now, what do you think we'd find living in a tree?
A woodpecker.
That's a good guess, and yes, you could find one of those too, but that's a boa constrictor. In heaven, we won't have to be afraid of snakes.
Because we don't know what kinds there are. There can be copperheads, like we saw at Daddy's work one day. They almost bit.
What do you think we could find living in an ocean?
An octopus.
Yes, that's right. And octopuses won't have to be afraid of us in heaven. What do you think we could find living in a tree or flying above trees?
A bird.
An eagle. A bald eagle. In heaven, they'll be friends with us. And maybe there'll be some big enough we can ride on or fly with them. Now, what do you think we could find in an old tree stump?
A termite.
An army ant. We won't have to be afraid of ants in heaven. There won't be termites and things to cause us problems in heaven.
I hate termites.
Now, what do you think we could find in a pond?
A frog.
Yes, a common frog.
I want to get a frog from one of our friends.
Oh, I know.
She has baby tadpoles.
Yep. Now, what do you think that we could find in the grasslands of Africa?
Cheetah!
Yes. Look at those teeth, but in heaven we won't have to be afraid of them either. Jesus will have everything nice and tame. What do you think we could find in a dry, hot place like Australia? How about an Australian frilled lizard?
Well, are they mean?
I've never met one. But by the way, he's got his mouth open. I'd say he's got a pretty good bite on him, kind of like Chuckles.
I hated Chuckles biting me.
Chuckles was a bearded dragon, and he had big, hard teeth that could draw
And he
blood.
bit us.
Now, what do you think we could find in a lake or a stream or a river?
I don't know.
A Wells catfish. In heaven, we won't have to worry about eating catfish because
Ew.
they'll be friends with us.
I don't want to eat catfish.
You don't have to, and you won't in heaven. Okay, now this guy.
I don't want catfish for supper because we don't eat catfish.
What would live in a stream,
A
lake,
fish.
a river, or a pond? This is a common sturgeon. He looks scary, like he might have a mean bite. But in heaven, we won't have to be afraid of him. We're looking at animal pictures, and they're... I'm trying to tell you. She's looking at animal pictures, and some of them are scary. Now, what do you think you could find in a big coconut tree or banana tree in Africa?
Coconut. A monkey!
An orangutan or another kind of monkey. Sometimes in Africa they use monkeys to climb the trees and bring the bananas down to them. And sometimes they don't want to come back down because they want to eat the bananas themselves. What do you think you could find in a pine tree?
A bee.
A honeybee! In heaven we won't have to be afraid of them stinging.
And cactus.
What do you think you could find in a desert?